Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Amy from With Love by Amy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we will be making some cards using my brand new Spirograph. So here is one of the Christmas gifts that I got from my kids that I kind of forgot to mention in my last haul video. I don't know why, it just wasn't in my pile of crafty stuff when I did my video, so I forgot to mention it. But yeah, my 6-year-old got this for me. He's so cute. When he saw that I had it on my Christmas list, which was like 4 things, but he's so cute. He's like, I saw an ad for that on TV. So yeah, he told Daddy he wanted to get me a Spirograph for Christmas. He's so sweet. So yes, they got this for me for Christmas. I'm super excited. I don't even know if I ever played with one of these as a kid, so I'm very excited to play with it now. I think we're going to use this, which is called a rack, and one of the wheels, and we're gonna make a slimline card panel. Yep, so here we go. All right, I cut a piece of cardstock to 3 1/4 by a little over 8. Yeah, it's like 8 1/4-ish. And I'm going to get the parts for the Spirograph. And the Spirograph does come with really cool directions, so you can, it shows you how to make all these different shapes and the designs and stuff like that. And the one that I thought would be cool, because it kind of like lends itself to a card, because then you can stick a sentiment right there in the middle of it. So I think I'm going to try to do one like this. The Spirograph does come with like putty. It's called Spirograph putty. It reminds me of that putty that we used to have back in the day to put posters on our walls. If you're like my age or ish, you probably remember that, or a child of the 90s, I guess, or the 2000s. So we need this piece, the rack, and then it says we need number 40. So each of these in the case here, they have a number on them, and number 40 is, where is number 40? I'm not seeing it. Is it this big one? I don't know. That's something else. All right, what the heck? Where's 40? Oh, this one's 40 over here. Okay. All right, so we got 40. So you're supposed to put the putty into a pea-sized ball and squish it down in there. And for the bigger round one, it said to do 4 of them. I'm just going to do 2 because I'm fairly confident it's going to hold it in place like this. And I'm going to try to line it up pretty good. I think that's pretty lined up. And then press it down. I did play with the putty a little bit. It doesn't make any marks on the cardstock. And then it says positioning at line 1 on the rack, which is all the way over here. Hole 5. So all these are really kind of hard to see, but they have numbers on them. And hole 5 is this one. So start over here, 5 and 1. And then you get the blue pattern. You do the blue pattern. So 5 and 1 with the blue pattern. All right. And then we just draw around here. I told my kids it was like driving when we were playing with it yesterday. Ah, it's moving. I should have magneted it down at the other end of the paper. I haven't played with it with other markers. I imagine you probably can use other markers. I'm going to stick that down there so it stays. I am noticing that if you don't keep it moving, it makes like little dots where you stop your pen. So there's that to keep in mind. Okay. Apparently we need to make sure that the magnet is off. I messed it up. Okay, this is how we need to magnet it down. Over here and over here. Okay. This is such a cool toy. Okay, I messed it up. All right, so we're just gonna keep going. Number 5 is this one. All right, so this is what it's supposed to look like when it's done, and I lost control of the little wheel thing at one point, so it's messed up a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do to be able to save this, because I already messed up one on the back side of this piece of cardstock, is I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to trim it down as much as I can with my paper trimmer so that it's nice and even. And then I'm going to use my scissors since it's too long to fit in my paper trimmer. All right, so one thing that is a tip for cutting things precisely like this that I've learned and is to make sure that you move the paper, not the scissors, which helps a lot. All right, so we are going to attempt to put that happy birthday sentiment in the center of our Spirograph design and do some foiling with like the deco foil stuff. I know it's not called deco foil. The Gina K stuff's not called, oh, I guess it is. Is it deco foil? I don't know. Whatever. But the stuff that goes through the laminator. And so what we're going to do is, I saw someone do this before in a video. I can't remember who it was, but you heat emboss with clear heat embossing, and then you put the foil down there. And basically what happens is when you run it through the laminator, it reactivates the embossing powder, so it heats it up and it basically gives it something to stick to. So we put the embossing powder on there, and off camera I embossed or heated it up with the embossing gun, and then we are going to stick the foil on there, run it through the or the laminator thingy, and there it is. Not perfect, but it's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, I'm a fan. Turned out pretty cool. It works. It kind of reminds me of like helium balloons, like that would say happy birthday. And then we're also going to use foil on the edge of our card. So we're going to give the illusion of like the whole front panel of the card being with the green foil on it. So we're putting strong double-sided adhesive strips on the top and the bottom of the front of the card panel. And this is a slimline card that we're doing here. So it is 3.5 by 8.5. That's the finished front size of the card. And yes, so we're going to trim the edges off of that, and we are going to burnish that adhesive on there really good so it stays on really good when we pull off the backing. And then we're going to pull off the backing of the tape and burnish the green foil on there. And I've never actually done this before. I'm pretty excited about it though. I'm excited to see how it works. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, it looks magnificent. I love it. All right, and then we still have to do that little piece at the edge there on that one. In hindsight, I would not do foil that's already gone through the foil machine. It just seems like it had like a different texture to it or whatever when I burnished it on there. So I would probably use fresh and clean foil next time. And we're going to repeat the process on the strip down there on the bottom. Because like I said, we want to give the impression that, or give the look of a whole front card panel being foiled, but I don't want to use the whole entire sheet of foil because that's a waste. Because we're going to have a black layer of cardstock over there, and see, it fits perfectly. And then that Spirograph sentiment piece is going to go in the center of that. I am going to glue this part down with the liquid adhesive and obviously make a giant mess first. I'm going to glue this down with the liquid adhesive and be very careful so that you don't see the white cardstock, and it's perfect. Look at that. Amazing. And we're going to burnish it down a little bit so it stays in place. And then I am going to use double-sided foam tape to pop that sentiment piece up there. And now I'm putting my stamp on the back. And we're going to put a sentiment on the inside of the card. I very seldom ever do this, but I already know who this is going to go to. And also I already know it's going to be a late birthday card. So here we go. And like I said, this went up on some foam tape, and then we stuck it on there, and it's finished. All right, so because the Spirograph is addicting, we're going to do some more. And you can pause it there if you want to see which Spirograph wheels you're supposed to use to make this. And this is an A2 size card panel that I'm using here. But the directions for the Spirograph tell you, they tell you like which wheel, what size wheel you need to use and what lines you need to line it up with and everything. So that's really helpful because it's basically like exact directions on how to make each shape. I thought it was, honestly, going into this, I assumed it was like trial and error. Like, you just play with all these pieces and see what happens. Which, my kids have been doing that, and they've made some pretty cool stuff. But they're 4 and 6, so you can imagine that their art is a little bit different. But they love it. The Spirograph is really fun for them. I will say also, because I don't think I've ever played with a Spirograph before, that I didn't realize that, like, it was so precise. I guess it never really dawned on me. You know, like the instructions there, I'm looking at the instructions again, and it tells you, okay, now move it over two teeth in the wheel from the number 1 slot, and, you know, go to the next dot or whatever, the next hole in the wheel. And so, yeah, it's pretty intense. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be, too, because I thought it would be super duper easy. But, I mean, the results are amazing. It's super fun. I feel like the possibilities of results are endless with this. And just when I did some Googling on Pinterest, I found some creators that had done flowers. Like, they stamped like a stem of a flower, and then they did the Spirograph flower part, kind of like what I have already done up there in the upper right corner. And I thought that was really cool. I just kind of wanted to play around and see what I could make. Initially, I was only going to do the slimline card in this video, but when I started playing, I was like, oh, I really like this, and I want to keep going and trying more and more. I need to figure out what other markers work well with this, because seeing as my kids are playing with this too, these markers aren't going to last very long. Yeah, so I need to find some other good fine tip markers like this to use in here. I suppose I could probably use actual just regular pens too, right? Ballpoint pens should work, like pretty ones. I'll have to check that out next time I play with this thing. Ooh, I love this. This looks so cool. So cool. I will say that using it in the Misty is very helpful, because being able to hold your paper down, I tried doing it without holding the paper down, and it was more challenging to control all the pieces, because yes, the wheel itself is stuck down with the putty and stuff like that, but when it moves, it just throws you off. And like, if it moves your pen, and it's just better in the Misty. And then you keep your pen, you know, you can line your paper up with the lines in the Misty, which is also helpful to make sure that you get your design where you want it to be. Because, you know, if you're doing it on a card panel and not planning on cutting it out, then that's really helpful for it to look like cohesive design. And then we're going to just play around and do some smaller designs here. I did put the wheel over the edge and make sure that the hole that I was using on the circle thing was going to go on the cardstock. And that seemed to be helpful, because otherwise I would have just been able to fit like one thing on this card panel. But yeah, this is fun. I'm a fan. This is definitely, for me, this is one of those things that could totally be in a very addicting offshoot into another, like, I don't even know, like another card making genre, basically. Like yet another thing that I've done. Using a Spirograph to make cards. All right, so I've decided that I want to try to hot foil a sentiment onto here with the, I don't even know, what the heck is the Spellbinder's hot foil system? But yeah, I'm going to use this blue foil, which I've never used before because I have not had a reason to use blue foil previously, but I think it's perfect for this card. And since I'm trying to increase my collection of child-worthy birthday cards, we're going to foil Happy Birthday onto the front of this. And we're making a little flap there with some tape and the die. And oopsie, it moved while it was getting foiled, so it double foiled. All right, we can fix that. We are going to get a scrap of cardstock that is probably right off of the same card panel, so it's the same exact white. We're going to flip over our leftover cardstock and refoil it, and ta-da, it's perfect. All right, and I found these, it calls for confetti sequins in my collection. the other day when I was going through some stuff. And look, they're perfect blue color to highlight the center of these cool designs that I did. So those are yet another thing in my collection I had not used previously, was I had to open them because they were still sealed. And now we are going to trim our sentiment down so it will cover up the boo-boo in the front of our card. We're just going to trim it down with the paper trimmer. And we're going to use this, the flag end or banner end punch and make it a banner end. And I thought about putting it up on some foam tape, but since we're covering up a boo-boo, I'll just tape it or glue it down. We're going to use some liquid adhesive and just, we have to make sure that this sentiment strip is not too wide so it doesn't cover up our art. And here's our 5 seconds of Sonic. I love that kitty. He's so cute. All right, so here are the finished cards. Let me know which one is your favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite. I kind of think I like the slimline card. That was a lot of fun to make. But leave me a comment down below and let me know which one you like the best. Thank you so much for watching. Here are some other videos that you may enjoy. And don't forget to come back soon, see what else we got going on. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.